Hello and welcome to Staying in Style with Social Distance. Credit to my dad for that one. So today we are going to be talking about blow drying your hair. Everyone always leaves the salon and says, Chelsea, I never get my hair looking the same way that you do. How do I do it? So what better time than when we're all quarantined to learn how to blow dry your own hair? There's some important things that you need to remember when you're blow drying. The first being product is your friend. I know a lot of people hate using product in their hair. They don't like how it feels, but you just need to find the right product. Personally, for myself, I use Lanza products. I use Lanza shampoo and conditioner. I just bought the smoothing one yesterday, and I always use their trauma treatment and their Neem Plant Silk Serum. I mix those two together. So I'll do that now. And I use about that much. Just half a pump of the oil. So I mix those two together. Get it through my hair. Make sure that I get it in the front here where I do have some really short baby hairs up front. So it's really important to get those because they can be stubborn. And I do that before I brush my hair just because I forgot my detangler at home and I'm at my parents' house right now. So I'll get that brushed through. And then any excess I have on my hands, I'll just kind of put it through my hair. So another really important part of blow drying your hair is scatter drying it before you put the brush to it. So my hair is pretty wet right now. You want to get it to about 75 to 80% dry before you put a brush to it. So we'll do that. You can flip your hair upside down if you want to get more volume to your hair. So that's what I like to do. I have pretty straight, flat hair, so the more volume, the better. So two more really important parts of blow drying your hair are sectioning and what you're using on your hair to actually blow dry it. So the concentrator is a really important part of the blow dry because you have coils right there in your blow dryer. If you're blow drying without that, your hair is touching those. Those are the most hot part of the blow dryer, and you're essentially burning your hair off. So make sure that you use the concentrator, although it's really hard to learn how to use one. Once you get the hang of it, it's much simpler. Another really important thing is making sure that you have a brush that is clean. I clean my brushes after every blow dry just because you do have hair fallout as you're blow drying. You don't want to leave that built up on there because you want your hair to be able to touch this metal part. That's what heats up and smooths your hair out. So make sure that it's clean and that the bristles aren't completely mangled. You want to make sure that it's a newer brush. For me, I like to get one every year or so as I use them every day, but for the average person, you don't need to get it that often. Just when you notice that it's starting to get a little tattered. So another part, once you're ready to start your actual blow dry, once you're scatter dried and it looks almost dry, sectioning is so important. It does not matter how thin, how thick, how anything your hair is, you need to section your hair. So I like to do my own hair in 3 or 4 sections. So I'll start by sectioning the bottom like so. You can buy clips like this at Sally Beauty, probably on Amazon too, for $5 for 4 of them. So I'll clip it up there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this is my section. So now I like to blow dry my hair over my shoulders like so. So I'll do half this way, half this way. I like to have my concentrator on this way. I know my mom does it this way. I don't know what's the best way to show you that, but I prefer mine this way. So when you're doing this, you're gonna wanna take your brush, get it good and secure in there, and your concentrator, you're gonna wanna angle it down like this. Because if you're holding it this way, it's gonna blow your hair up and make it frizzier. Another really important thing is once you get it down here, you kind of want to re-blow dry this, what you're pulling, as well as kind of turn on your ends like so, so that you get that curl under as well as smooth. My second section will be from about my temples all the way around my head. You can do a little bit thicker of a section than that. My hair is pretty thin, so get a little bit more hair in there. Clip that up, and then this is my section. So with this, I have a lot of clients who have postpartum hair loss, where essentially your hairline tends to thin. So with this, one really helpful thing that I learned in a blow dry class that I took years ago was when you're drying your hair, you can take a comb. I don't have a comb with me because I'm in New Hampshire and all my stuff is in Massachusetts. Super cool. But you can take a comb and essentially, see if my brother has when he does it. Take the comb and blow dry like this so that the comb is kind of acting as your guide to kind of smooth everything together. And again, product is going to help. I'll talk about another product at the end that will really help with your baby hairs after the blow dry is complete. So as you are finishing each section, which should be no wider than your brush, because then you'll wind up getting it stuck in the handle, what you want to remember as you're dropping each section is to kind of roll it out of the brush so that it encourages that curl under there. You can even leave the brush in there like I just did as it's cooling down to kind of give it a little bit of extra setting power. and it'll stay curled under a little bit better. For someone with curly hair, obviously it's going to take a little bit more smoothing than my straight hair, but the same technique does apply. So a lot of my clients have said to me, well, I can't figure out the hand movements of blow drying my hair like that. So what can I do? Well, they do make products that you can buy that are, the brush is the blow dryer, and luckily enough, my mother has one. Essentially, this is the blow dryer. I personally have never used one, so I'm going to be learning with you right now. So we will unplug my blow dryer, and we'll use this. And they're super easy to use, though. Okay, so it has three settings: low, high, and cool. So we're going to put it on high. Much quieter. I would say you need to have your hair much drier than with a normal blow dryer to use something like this. We'll just try a small section in the front here just to show you how it works. Definitely does a good job of curling it under. I'm not sure that this is what I would recommend for smoothing, but it definitely does a good job of curling my straight hair under. So I like that. I'm gonna use my blow dryer for the rest of my blow dry. I just wanted to show you that there are other options out there for something that you could use to get your hair a salon look blowout. So now that we are at the top of this section, I'm going to be working to get a little bit more volume through there. So when you're working for volume, you kind of want to take a little bit of a thinner section than you normally would, because you want to bring it up and kind of really do a lot of root work there. So you're pulling it up rather than out and smoothing it. As you can see, I've got those baby hairs. We will address that after. So if you noticed, as I was blowing that section, I kind of really spent time doing a little bit extra smoothing work on that section, just because if I don't, it will stick straight up in the air. So with something like this, where you're trying to get a little bit more volume, you can hold it in there a little bit longer, and you really want to make sure that you're pulling it out slowly and encouraging it to fall where you want it to fall. So with the back, I'm going to kind of pull it up and forward, kind of manipulating it just to make sure that I get as much volume as I possibly can out of my really straight hair. Okay, so for our last section here, I kind of blow dry this differently every time I blow dry my hair. Sometimes I like to wear it forward as like a little bit of a side bang. Most of the time though, I just kind of blow it to the side because my hair doesn't like having a side bang. So today, I think I'm gonna blow it forward. So even though this is my last section, I still end up blowing this piece here on myself and all of my clients as 2 sections, just because it is the front piece of your hair. You wanna get as much volume as you can out of it, and you wanna get it as smooth as you possibly can. You can section this yourself if you'd like to, if it's more comfortable for you. I personally just flop it to the other side because my hair knows where it parts and it's gonna part there anyways. A lot of the time I do just flip it as such. So let's do this last section. And don't be afraid with the blow dryer as you're figuring out how to use the concentrator. Don't be afraid to flip the blow dryer any which way. Try it in both hands. If it feels uncomfortable in one hand, try it in the other hand. If it feels like you're holding it the wrong way, you'll see me flipping the blow dryer back and forth each way as I'm trying to get my hair to fall a certain way. So we are all blow dried. So now I still have these little baby hairs that give me a really hard time, especially right here. Once I step outside into humidity or I sweat, anything, they start to stick straight up. So what I like to use is a wax or a paste. So my mom happens to have a wax stick. It's by Bedhead. She really likes this. And so you take a little bit of that and just kind of emulsify it through your fingers because these products are really strong. You don't want to use too much in a certain area. So you want to make sure that it's kind of all over your fingers. And you're going to kind of take it and just kind of smooth it through. Smooth it through. Okay. So a lot of women with that postpartum hair loss also feel like they have bald spots on their head. I do know quite a few people who use root touch-up sprays, such as this one. The salon will be looking into getting some root touch-up sprays that we can order and then possibly send out to our clients. But this is one, in the meantime, that you can get at CVS. It's great for covering your roots that you're not going to be able to have done for a little while. Hopefully soon, we'll see. But it's also really good for covering up some bald spots that you may have from your postpartum. A lot of people will finish this with a hairspray, or you can finish it with an oil. I typically will finish my blow dries with an oil. My hair though is super straight, super fine, so I don't put anything in my hair except for a wax or a paste like I just did. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I will put in my stories room for questions. If you have any further questions, I will answer those. And you can look forward to some more tutorials coming at you tomorrow. I will be doing a tutorial on curling your hair. See you then.